You see these people wrapping up their
Don't.
headers?
I hate wrapping. So I wouldn't put anything past the factory.
Welcome back to BarryTsGarage. It's great to have another time of visiting with Ed and ask Ed questions. Hi there, Ed.
Hi, good morning.
I've had quite a few messages from a guy named Lone Wrencher. He's got a very interesting predicament. He came into a Busch Series V6 racing engine. It's the Oddfire V6. And they didn't use them in the NASCAR cars, but they used them in the Busch Series cars. What do you do with an old race engine? It was kind of put away. He says it looks like new. What would you do before you'd want to start it up?
Well, definitely run oil pressure with a drill or something mechanically. If you can't do that, you can always put and I've got one around here someplace, a Chevy oil pump with a bracket bolted onto it, and then a hose screwed onto it, so we can have that in a bucket of oil. You screw it in the oil galley and oil the whole motor with an electric drill.
Ah, okay.
Of a 5-gallon bucket of oil.
Right.
You just put the pump in there and run it with this thing on it. So you pre-lube it for sure and crank it over while you're pre-lubing it. So all the bearings and the cam bearings and everything gets oil.
Okay.
But other than that, maybe that would oil the rings maybe and everything.
Now, if it's been,
You crank it over, no spark plugs and no ignition.
so if it's been sitting for almost 40 years, would you even try like something like Marbling Mystery Oil?
No, I don't think so. I would just put maybe a thin oil in it just to pre-lube it.
Yeah.
Then I would take that thin oil out and put 30 weight.
Okay.
I think so.
Yeah.
As far as I don't know, in those days they didn't build as motors like they do today, with maybe 1,000th clearance on the rod bearings today,
Right.
and they probably had the 2,000s on the rods and mains. So you want to put the 30 weight oil in, and I wouldn't be afraid to start it.
Yeah.
We've had some cars that sat around for a long time and did the same thing, start them up and run fine. It's an Oddfire, he said.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm just noticing one little thing at the end here. He says it is a dry sump system, and there is oil in it still.
Okay. Dry system. Well, you have to run that pump in the front. You can do that also. But you can also get in where the oil gauge goes and pre-lube it like I told you.
Right. Okay. So there's different ways to get into the
Yeah,
oil.
you get in anything in the oil galley.
Yeah.
You can preload it with and that pump will put out 60 pounds. There should be a pump in the bucket. But no spark plugs. Crank it over several times. Maybe crank it over a few times today and a few times tomorrow. And
Cool.
And you might see when you crank it over, get the valve cover off and see if it starts oiling the lifters and oil the rocker arms while you're cranking over. And if you get those oil in, you're done. You're ready to go.
You're going to be in good shape.
Yeah. And it should crank over, yeah. Oil the rocker arms, yeah.
All right. Good.
Yeah.
There's your answer.
Yeah, good. Good question, yeah.
Yeah. Very good. Why does wrapping the exhaust headers on street cars, how does that help the engine? You see these people wrapping up their headers?
Don't. I hate wrapping. I hate it. If you wrap it, it'll hold the moisture. If you have them wrapped for a year or two, take the wrapping off and the headers will be rusted. They'll be junk. And it's hard to work around that wrap. I don't know if you want to work on your car. If you're in such a hurry, you have to have it wrapped in the middle of the intersection, get out and change the spark plugs or something. Just let it cool off. And the headers will cool off. You let it set. In 15 minutes, you can touch them. And I'd sooner put a tin shield on them.
Okay.
And I've said before, we have some tin shields that a piece of tin down by the starter, maybe a piece of tin this long by this much, and you put a couple holes in, a couple slots. The slots would be the same size as a radiator hose clamp. And don't put it on a starter bolt, but put it on the side of the header somewhere, and bend it out a little bit so you get a little fresh air from the fan.
Okay.
And keep that hot. And one piece of tin will cut the temperature down by half. And sometimes I put a little piece of tin on a header maybe, where the hose is close to it, and just tack weld it on the header. And put a little bubble, piece of tin this long, just a bubble.
Yeah.
Keep it a ½ inch above the header.
Okay.
Just tack weld it and lay a hose right on it.
Okay. So why do people wrap those things?
I don't know, because somebody sold them some wrap.
Okay.
I guess.
All right.
It looked like crap. You know, it does look terrible.
Okay. No reason to do that.
No reason. I don't see any reason at all.
Okay.
Then just calm down. You don't have to work on your car instantly.
Find something that.
And I don't think it's gonna keep the headers hot. Not not cool off. They'll keep you cool or touch them. Other than that, the header's hot.
Yeah.
I'd sooner have them cool off. But the headers do get red hot.
Yeah.
Maybe about this far from the cylinder head going down the road 70, 80 miles an hour. They get red hot. Mm-hmm. Just like the wrap, totally.
Okay. You might even hate that.
I even hate it too, yeah.
That's good.
It's my opinion.
That's your opinion.
You don't see headers wrap on this one or anything else here
No,
either.
you don't have anything
We
wrapped.
don't have anything wrapped.
Question from a guy named Tanner. He wants to talk about 429s.
429 Ford.
Yes.
We had a Mercury motor, 429, in our boat, and I think it had 11-to-1 compression stock
Okay.
of a 69 T-Bird, a big car,
Yep.
not a little car, but and that 429, we really liked that. We put an aluminum intake on it, a single 4-barrel. We had it in our jet boat, and it really had a tremendous amount of torque.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah.
But I know that one of the guys had a funny car here in town, up in Wickham, might have been something. And then Pete Robinson in Florida, that guy, in the 60s, 65s, he ran those. But it took some magic guy to get all the chains lined up. And maybe this cam line, maybe this intake advanced, and that exhaust retarded.
Wow.
And all that stuff to line up. And when they did, it put out a tremendous amount of horsepower.
John says, I have a 1970 Dodge pickup truck. It's a camper special.
Okay.
And he says, it had a 318 with 20 over pistons from the factory.
It could be.
And it had floating wrist pins. So I guess he got into the engine, he took it apart and couldn't figure out why in the world did that happen or how did it happen. And the question I had is, did they put, like floating wrist pins, I guess there's a little more oiling going on.
Sure, yeah.
And maybe the factory was doing that on the camper special for a heavy duty.
It could be, but a lot of times they use, we were just talking last night, and a couple guys, and somebody had bought I think, I'm trying to think what kind of motor, what kind of truck or something it was, and it had something on. It was a marine motor from something like Italy or something,
Oh, really?
and a Ford truck, where they made special motors for marine.
Huh.
And they do that.
Okay.
Chrysler made a marine motor and made an industrial motor,
Yeah.
and they changed a few things like that. And again, they were industrial motors for what industrial stuff, different
Yeah.
things. And it would be not uncommon for Dodge to put that in that camper special.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
So that doesn't surprise you that much.
Don't know anything that they do. Just like we used to have years ago, maybe look at a serial number on the motor, and there would be an X after it. And you better look in the book, see what that X meant. The lifter bores were bigger.
Really?
Yes. So you put a regular lifter in it, it would slop around. So you better look in the book and find out what the X is, or the Y. It may tell you the overbore, like 20 over or something.
Okay.
But they would put it on the serial number on the motor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Huh.
The end of it. So
That's-
I wouldn't put anything past the factory. I mean, they did that.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
probably worked well.
Yeah. Well, you didn't hurt anything.
I can't pronounce his name, but he says, I met a guy who buys old Chevelles and Camaros. And you happen to be right in front of a Camaro. He says he always put a 2-step hotter cam or a 3-step hotter cam. What does that mean when he says a hotter cam?
Usually more duration, a little bit more lift.
Okay.
Well, a guy brought us in a motor yesterday, and somebody built it, and he was going to put it in his truck. It was a 454 Chevy motor.
Okay.
With a nice motor, had aluminum intake and chrome valve covers and a bigger pan on and stuff. But he says, I'm just going to bring it over to you guys and just tear it apart and make sure it's okay, because I don't want to put it in my truck. So we're going to take this motor apart and just carefully go through it, make sure it's okay, put it back together.
Someone named Pontiac Power, I guess we know what he likes. He says, I'm building a 383 small block, and my question is, I have a SCAT cast steel crank, stock factory flex plate for a 400, and an Assault 400 balancer, and I'm going to run it on a dirt track. So here's the question for Ed. It's a dirt track question.
Okay.
Will it live at 6,800 RPM for the race?
Oil it. Get your oiling straightened out.
Okay.
Yeah, get your oil straightened out. 6,800 is nothing.
Okay.
Yeah, that's $7,000.
Yeah.
He's probably going to put a chip in it, and sometimes those classes, you have to run a computer chip in it, so it only goes 6,800.
Okay.
A particular class.
It works
that.
like a governor, I guess.
Yes, that's exactly right. It just shuts that off.
Okay.
So, anyways, that's a good idea, but you need to get your oiling straightened out. Watch one of our videos that shows you how to re-drill the center 3 cam bearing holes. Mm-hmm. Go through the cam bearing, so oil the center 3 mains more.
Yes.
And then when you do that, you drill out the bearing bigger than the hole you drilled.
Yep.
But drill clear through the block, through the cam bearing, hole with no cam bearings, and clear to the oil galley. So the center 3 oils more. And a couple of things. A guy was there did chamfer around the oil filter. Chamfer that so the oil goes in there better than a square edge.
Right.
And some of those things. And then we grind the block maybe where the head returns the oil. And grind it shiny there so the oil returns more.
Okay.
We have a good video on
We have
that.
a very good video.
Yeah, on that. So just follow up and watch what we did, and it should last for almost ever.
Why is setting the base timing so critical? It seems like everybody does it differently. So what's the objective? To get number 1 piston at the absolute highest position. How can that be done statically? Like, what's the difference? What difference does 1 or 2 degrees make?
Nothing.
No big deal?
The main thing there I would be careful with to make sure the front lobe exhaust is the same as the one in the rear. Make sure all the lobes, the guy that ground the cam has got them all in the same index.
Right.
But you're not going to change them. You're not going to grind it again. And when you get all done, you're either going to say, I want a lot of low end. I'll put some tires on this thing, so I'm going to advance it 2 or 3 degrees. If you want top end, retard it 2 or 3 degrees. Make sure your valves don't hit the pistons. And you're either going to advance it or retard it or buy a new cam.
Those are your options.
That's it.
Okay.
You're not going to grind it. You're not going to change it.
Okay.
Change the lifters if you want to a 6.5 or some other ratio. Do things like that, but it's got nothing to do with the camshaft when you change the thing. So again, I don't spend much time if I think the cam is looking like, again, if you want to put the degree wheel and play with it carefully and mark everything and write everything down, spend 2 or 3 hours degreeing the cam, it would tell you that your cam was ground correctly.
And I guess it's worth checking.
That's all you can do.
Yeah.
The question was about timing.
Hey guys, just a quick heads up. We now have a home for Barry T's Garage, and it's BarryTsGarage.com. One spot where you can go to watch our videos. You can sign up for a newsletter and get kind of updates or previews on what's coming up on the next series or the next thing. Also, we finally have a proper merch store. In the meantime, you can check that out. And we're excited to have better ways to connect with you. Some of you want to support us. Thanks so much for all your support, everybody.
So you
He's
like
talking
that?
about the base timing.
Base timing.
Yep.
Base timing could be 10 or 12 degrees. Maximum timing is important. Depends on what you do, how much fuel you got in it. 32, 34, 36 total advance. That's important. So you don't burn a piston and lean it out.
Right.
You're not going to burn a piston on the initial timing. And depends on your distributor, how much the weights swing out. Because like people don't know that MSD sells that distributor, and they put the heaviest springs they have in stock.
Okay.
So as soon as you get the distributor, take it apart, change the springs. Change 1 or 2 to get it advanced quicker. You want full advance at around 2,000. It's a good round figure.
Okay.
Then if you change the springs and get full advance somewhere in there or more advance and burn a hole in the pistons, it's yours because you changed the springs.
Right.
To get it to run right, you have to change the springs.
Got it. Okay.
So they put that precaution in there when they build the distributor. It was kind of easy thinking about it, and maybe if you're not used to what you're doing or thinking about what you're doing, or somebody's actually told you exactly what you're doing and you understand, you shouldn't do it. You know, you don't want to get it up to 40 degrees top advance, and even though it's got 10 on the timing, it'll start easy on the starter at 10.
Yeah.
You really don't want to have 20 on the starter degrees on cranking. It won't start. It'll
Right.
kick back on the starter.
Sure.
And when you get it to run right, you get the timing to run right, it will run so sweet. Crank up perfectly and rev it up and just run so sweet when it gets that thing. And that sweet spot, nobody can tell you where it's at. Depends on how rich the carburetor is, how much exhaust you got on it, what kind of a camshaft, what kind of spark plugs you have, all kinds of things. But when you get that sweet, it'll run so sweet. Good luck.
That's got to be a great feeling when you build something like that.
Yeah, right.
It's got to be amazing.
We go over here sometimes, our motors, we run them, and of course they're balanced and stuff, depends on what they is. And I just have to smile when that 383 or whatever it happens to be, 454, cranks and fires, and you rev it up just a little bit, and it falls just a little bit on the throttle, and it sounds like it goes 6,000 RPMs. So smooth to it.
Yeah, yeah.
Just such really satisfying when it runs perfectly.
Right.
It's not too hard to do that either.
Okay.
Yeah, so good luck.
There you go. Just do your homework.
Yeah, just do your homework, yeah.
Okay. Can you explain the process of shimming the distributor on a Chevy big block?
We don't have that thing with a big block that much. We don't see many big blocks unless it's in a boat with a couple carburetors on and things like this. Mm-hmm. But most of the big blocks are in a Camaro like this or something, single 4-barrel and a few things, and maybe electronic fuel injection, those carburetors or something like this, and give them a run. But the small block depends if the heads are milled and the intake's milled. Now the distributor sticks up too far. Mm-hmm. And I have some bearings laying right there, and I know that round kid here in town, tighten the distributor down and force it right through the oil pump.
Right.
Yes, sometimes I've had 3 of those gaskets underneath the oil pump.
Yeah, and you showed us the bearings that burned up when...
Yeah, but 3 gaskets under there to shim that pump.
Okay, Marshall has a question. He says, I would like to hear Ed talk about the 400 cubic inch Ford, a tall deck Cleveland. It seems like you could get big inches out of a stroker with that block. Have you played with that?
No.
Okay.
The 400, the same bell housing, so we never messed with that. I don't know if I had ever seen somebody try to race it or anything. There's a lot of them in trucks, but they were kind of a lazy motor. I think Ford retarded the camshaft on them.
Okay.
And we did some of that stuff, advanced the cam on it out in the upper gear, and then make them pull, because the Ford dealer down here would sell one of those trucks, maybe a 3/4 ton, and it wouldn't even pull a hay wagon.
Okay.
With no low-end power because it ran so lazy, and then maximum fuel economy was 10 miles per gallon.
Wow.
I don't care what you did to it, but I've never seen anybody make anything high performance about it.
Okay.
The 400 was a kind of loser, so I've never seen anybody race one,
Yeah.
unless it was in a hobby stock or something and
Yeah.
didn't do nothing. Then the best thing you do is advance the camshaft to half a tooth on the upper gear
Okay.
and run much better.
Yeah. This is a little bit picky, I guess, but sometimes it's a little bit trivia, we'll say. He says, I remember seeing a sticker on a radiator support on a 70s Eldorado that said 501, not 500.
I don't know if I've ever seen a sticker on a core support. Probably emission sticker is what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, without a doubt. It's a sticker with all that stuff on it that didn't mean anything. The government did that. Like the 401 Chevy motor was a 396 30 over.
Yeah. And yeah, right.
Yeah.
Some people call it a 402.
Same. 402, yeah.
Now, we just mentioned this video that you did, small block vintage Chevy motor for racing. That oiling video you did such a great job of going through the whole engine and pointing out what to do.
Yeah.
So here's a question about that video.
Okay.
Scott says, blocking the lifter valley oil returns, didn't you have those standoffs?
Yes.
Okay. It seems like it would reduce oil to the lifters and the cam, and in a street-built flat tappet motor, I'd be afraid to reduce the lube at a common failure point. So what do you say about that?
Well, the cam didn't lube through those holes.
Ah,
The return holes from the cylinder heads. Because that oil is just coming through the rocker arms, run down both sides of the head,
okay.
and down through past the push rods, and puddle in there. And we didn't want that oil to fall on the crankshaft. That's our whole thing.
Right.
Because it would just stop the crankshaft.
Okay.
So anyways, it didn't oil there at all. It has got nothing to do with oiling. And then if you put the lifter stands in it, it oiled out, all the oil returned down the right rear corner. We're
Right.
talking about roundy round. Or a little bit of it came out and oiled the timing chain
Right at the front. Yep.
on the front. We maybe drilled a little hole behind the timing chain, a hole that went up to that puddle right there. So that puddle didn't puddle very much around those front two lifters. And actually, we're worried about oil in the timing chain. But even though the whole inside of the motor is just one big foam of oil,
Right.
it's just one big splash going on.
Right.
If you could actually video it,
Yeah.
but we don't want that oil to go hit the crankshaft. That's all. But return, and even in return, we still want to drill that hole in the block
Yeah.
that goes down there by that rear main, a hole, maybe a 5/8 diameter hole, so it don't run out on that number 8 connecting rod. That's the most important thing, is that hole in the block in that flat web, so it didn't fall out number 8 plug.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's address his concern. He's worried about the cam and the lifters. So how do they get oiled if they're not getting oil that way?
The oil right down the middle.
Okay.
They're both oil galleys on each side.
Okay.
And the lifters run right in the oil.
Okay. Right. So the standoffs.
And the cam, the lifters, of course, the lifter runs on the side, the cam, so it rotates all the time,
Yep.
up and down, it's going everywhere. And that's got nothing to do with the cam lobe or anything like that.
Or the flat
Again,
tip.
we're going to go back a little bit. And I read some magazines years ago. The best lifter Chevy ever made was that 2-piece lifter. The bottom of it's steel. It's got a ring around that lifter. So if you took a 327 apart, you look at the lifters, the bottom end, it's got a little groove, so it's a 2-piece lifter. The bottom, it runs on the cam, is steel, not cast. I keep those lifters. If I find a good set, I keep them. I got several sets. I would put those on in a minute on a brand new camshaft. They're like brand new. You never worry.
So why'd they stop making that then?
I don't know, probably expense.
Uh-huh.
Too much cost. They started making these lifters now, and the lifters go bad.
Yeah.
So I would take a set of those lifters out, and at a minute, I still do,
Yeah.
and put them on my motors, my personal motors, on the new camshafts, and just want to get in trouble. But it's hate to tell you to stop this camshafts and lifters and go out to the junkyard and get a set of used lifters.
No, what about approximately what years were those good?
Early 70, 75, maybe even 68.
Okay, somewhere in that range.
Yeah, right. That's the original lifter.
Okay.
You look at it, it'd be like brand new.
Yeah.
So that's the 45 on the lifter. Looks like brand new lifter. But that's my opinion again.
Yeah.
You know, telling Ed said go get some used lifters and put in your cam, and that solves the problem.
Depends on which ones.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
That's good. All right, you've talked a lot about that, and we talked about it a little bit earlier today, about changing that cam gear on those emissions Ford engines and getting the old farm trucks to move and all that
Yes,
kind of thing.
yeah.
Was the same kind of shenanigans going on with the 351 or the smaller engines too?
Well, the M motor were.
Okay.
M motors were, because that's that one that didn't pull anything.
Right. So the
As far as I know,
351
the
and-
M motor and the 460.
Okay, so that's the 351 and 400, the 400M.
Yeah.
Okay, would probably have that same time
Yeah, same thing, yeah.
situation. Not so much the 351 Windsor.
No, the 351 Windsor is fine.
Okay.
I never had any trouble with any questions about that one.
Yeah.
They always ran good.
Greg Mitchell, he's had questions for us before. He said, I'm in big trouble. I have a 69 Camaro. It's not an SS Camaro, but it is a 350 car with a 4-speed. I purchased without the motor or the transmission, and after purchasing the car, I had a 69 375 horsepower 396 installed, but now I found a 69 350 motor. What do you think? Should I go back to the original? We want Ed's opinion here. What do you think? You keep it. You've got a 350 in that Camaro right next to you, right there.
Right there's the original motor, 4-speed. Everything's original. I have the original water pump sitting right here.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep it.
Yeah.
Things like this, and again, I just had this transmission out, washed it, cleaned it, painted it, bell housing, flywheel, and clutch, and painted it. Put it all back in again. Changed the freeze plugs in this motor. I just took the motor out. So they painted the drive shaft and all kinds of things, and I want to keep it original. But it is a pace car.
Right.
The car's worth a lot of money
Yeah, right.
because they make 200 of these cars.
Right, right.
That's all. So anyways, I want to keep this one, but it would be sinful to take this motor out and put a big block in it
Yeah,
because the serial numbers didn't show that.
right.
So I'm real careful on what I'm doing to this car to keep it original. But if he has a big block in it, he likes to drive it, unless it's some kind of I don't know if he said it was a Z28 SS
No,
car, superstar car, but other than that,
it's
keep
not an
the-
SS. It's just
keep the big block in it.
Oh, have fun.
You got it in there with the headers and stuff and exhaust and have fun.
Okay. Would you keep the transmission and engine on the side that's original?
Well, he's bought an original motor, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know about the transmission. It took an M21 transmission, and that's what's in this car.
Okay, yeah, the Muncie.
It's a Muncie, yeah. Even with the big block, and I don't know where he's at.
Yeah.
But I would be really tempted on to put a Tremec 5-speed in it today with a big block and not stock anyways. And it wouldn't destroy the car, but sure be nice going down the road in overdrive
Yeah,
where you can run with the traffic now 75, 80 miles an hour at ease.
yeah,
With that big block, it'd be more fun, yeah.
yeah. So, Greg, you're in even more trouble because he said leave the big block and change the transmission.
Yeah, yeah. I would be apt to do that
Okay.
because that's not going to hurt the car at all. It's just almost bolts right in.
Yeah. Randall's asking, I'd like your opinion on the 200 R4 for street and racing. I like the gear ratios. Will it hold up to my big 600 horsepower engine?
Well, I've got a guy, again, I've said that before, that's got a 500-inch Cadillac and a 58 Pontiac.
Okay.
And he's got a 200R, it's been in there for a long time.
Okay.
He drives it from Phoenix to LA, back and forth. He likes the overdrive and stuff. And I think it'll last, but you can buy some good parts for that transmission now.
Yeah.
I think it has some plastic clutch packs in it. The pistons and stuff were originally.
Yep.
I think you can buy some billet parts for that transmission.
Yep.
And so it just shifts you. You don't want to, I wouldn't drag race it with a set of 12-inch tires on or nothing. Yeah, I like the gear ratio like he said, and I like the high gear. So it's a good transmission.
Yeah.
It came in Camaro, 82 Camaro, I think had a 200R.
Yeah.
With that 2 injectors on it.
Well, I think you said before, if it was built properly, those are good transmissions.
Yeah, it's a good transmission.
Yeah.
But again, you don't stand up to a blown motor at all.
Right.
With the tire size is what you're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah.
It'd be a fun car with a street size tire, maybe a pretty good size 15-inch tire.
Yeah.
Overdrive, yeah, it'd be fun.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So here's the last question of the day, Ed. What do you think about people take their car to the coin car wash, hose down their engine bay with soap and steamy water, and how often should you wash your engine bay out like that?
Just give it a quick rinse, that's a good idea.
Okay.
Keeps the dust and everything off of it, and fan belts clean and things like that and stuff. It's always good to keep it clean.
Well,
So I would say every 2 months or something I would, if I
Yeah.
could do, yeah. Yeah, I would be careful not to hose down the computer.
Yeah, I'm thinking that.
Yeah, yeah.
And I have had a problem where water got into the spark plug holes.
Yeah.
And
Well, you need to blow it out.
yeah,
Somehow.
but somehow there's not an air compressor at the coin car wash.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're on your own. I don't know. There's a lot of different
Yeah,
answers to that.
everybody's got an opinion on that, but I have a every couple months, 6 times a year, keep
Yeah.
it clean.
Keep it clean.
Always have a nice car. Clean car is always good.
And if you have an oil leak, it'll collect dust and dirt.
Yes.
And that's not good to have on the
No,
engine.
no, it's not.
Okay. Well, Ed, thank you for taking the time to answer these questions again.
Okay. Okay, good.
We're starting to make some progress catching up on them.
Okay, good.
We'll keep going.
right,
And thank you
thanks.
for all the questions. And if you watched to the very end, you get the prize. Thank you for doing that. People admit they learn something every time they watch one of these shows.
Yeah.
That's thanks to you, Ed.
Okay,
So,
good.
thank you. And we'll see you next time.